you mentioned just came out of stealth mode just 4 years ago, and already all these enterprises, they were already encountering massive problems of which no database infrastructure system, calculation system, AI system, whatever, they couldn't solve their problem. They gave you a shot just because like they've tried everything else. Nothing else works. So they said, hey, doctor, give me your system. I want to try this out. That's how you got your first wave of customers just 4 years ago? Just like, hey, they were already stuck. They couldn't figure out this solution. You came forward and said, this is mine.
Exactly. You can imagine when we come out of stealth mode 4 years ago, really nobody wanted to use TigerGraph. Nobody wanted to bet their career on a new startup, a new product, right? And we are not the first graph database in the market. We are the new generation graph database, right? So all of our customers, they tried other things, right? If Oracle worked, if MongoDB worked, if other distributed SQL database worked, if early generation graph database worked, nobody would buy TigerGraph. So they choose TigerGraph because they're so proud. We created something nobody had before in the world, right? We created the first fully distributed high-performance graph database. So a lot of our customers, before TigerGraph come out of stealth mode, they already love the graph concept, right? The visionary. They understand the graph, really match their business model, can really give them the business advantages, right? But the problem before TigerGraph is that there was no enterprise level, high performance, distributed native graph database, right? So when we come out, our customer give us a shot, right? Give us a chance to prove, exactly like you mentioned. Of course, it's not an easy process because bigger companies have a lot of process, they have need to do rigorous proof of concept. For example, if you listen to the talk from United Health Group, they look at 30 plus company/product before they choose TigerGraph. They clearly rank 10 company product. TigerGraph was ranked number one. It's not just number one. Number two cannot even do the job, right? If number two can do the job, they're more famous, bigger than TigerGraph, more established, they would not just choose TigerGraph. So that's how we started 4 years ago. Of course, right now, we focus not just on performance scalability because we already is the absolute leader. Now we really focus more on easy to use for developers, for data scientists, and also business guys, right, who don't want to be a graph algorithm expert.
So we got to dive into that in just a moment, but I want to walk people through this timeline. So if we go on LinkedIn, we can see that you started the company in, it looks like 2012, 2011 timeframe.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, right? And then 2018 is when you go live. So for 6 years, you built this in stealth. I'm curious, you obviously have a lot of patents and you have a lot of knowledge in this space. I'm curious, why do you think the VCs or whatever funded you? Why did they fund this project? They gave you a long runway. So they clearly knew that this is an opportunity, but you also mentioned many had failed before. So what is it that you showed maybe way back in 2012 where they said, Dr. Xu, I believe in you, man. I want to give you some money.
First of all, I'm a database guy, right? I have been working on database for more than 20 years. That's my passion. That's also probably the only thing I really know about. Right? So, like you mentioned, I did a PhD in database. I got many patents. I worked at Teradata for many years in San Diego. Teradata, of course, is a leading enterprise level data housing company before Snowflake becomes the dominant player in the cloud, right? So I work at Twitter. Twitter, of course, I joined Twitter pre-IPO, and I quit Twitter before my first year anniversary. So that gave investors a lot of confidence, right? I'm really committed to the success of TigerGraph. So back to the question, yeah, it was a long journey, but building a database is super hard, right? Building a distributed graph database is even harder because nobody made this happen before, right? I have the right background. I got the right team. So that's why for the first 6 years, we have to make the product work, right? We had some pitfalls, we had some issues, it's never easy, right? But we worked with early customers. We tested a product. It's better tested. So take a lot of time to build a really good product. And also, like I mentioned, we didn't want to take any shortcut. We don't want to build a graph database on top like a distributed storage engine, like a key value database, like Redis or MongoDB or other databases, right? Because we tried. We found, if you do the data noding, if you do the large scale graph analytics, performance is not it cannot even meet our own internal expectation, right? So we tried, right? So now there's still startups, they're under time pressure. Now they want to build a graph solution quickly on top of other distributed storage engine. But we tried many years ago, right? So we finally decide we want to do the right approach. Even takes time, right? So we choose C++. It's not easy to hire C++ experts, right? But it's the best, system programming engine, programming language. If you look at all operating systems, major databases, they're all built using C++, right? So we did the hard work, we make sure we polish our product. So that's why it takes a lot of time to build a good product.
IT Visionaries is powered by Salesforce Platform and Dreamforce. Did you know all the very best Dreamforce sessions are available for free at salesforce.com/plus? We recommend watching the platform and MuleSoft keynote to get the down low on doing more with less and increasing efficiency with automation.